Behavioral training interventions. Why choose behavioral training interventions over routine soft skills training? That's where you talk about BAT. B for behavior, A for attitude, T for thinking. BAT interventions, whether you're an individual or a group of people or an organization, BAT is the way to go. Having the right skills, knowledge, and ability is no guarantee at all of high performance. Just look at 87% of the world who fall in the average and the poor performer category, according to Gallup studies. That's why the BAT interventions come in. The crucial factor for high performance always comes down to the willingness to perform, to make the hard choices, to put in the hours, to put in that extra. Willingness to perform comes from conviction, from buy-in. That is the focus of behavioral interventions. Behavioral interventions bring the attention of the participant to their attitude, beliefs, values, and thought patterns when it comes to work, performance, and growth. It targets the three dimensions that form the key to unlocking any personal transformation. And those three dimensions are BAT, behavior, attitude, thinking. As you know, behavior is cut from the environment, influenced by attitude, and very hard to change. Attitude is molded by the environment, reinforced by thinking, very, very hard to change. And the third one, thinking, reinforced by behavior, but can be changed at any time. Thinking is the only savior for growth to change attitude and behavior. So, how do we influence thinking? So, let's look at the routine soft skills training. What do? Focuses on changing knowledge and skills, or in other words, behavior through instruction, which is harder to change. Point 2. Takes a one-size-fits-all approach as it does not take into account the individual uniqueness when designing the curriculum. Works on improving an individual's weakness, gaps in knowledge and skills. The fourth point, unlearning is ignored because glue-like mindsets, die-hard habits, and concrete wall-like attitudes are rarely identified. Seldom uses a process-driven approach and is generally limited to 1 or 2 day modules. And the last point, compulsion to change comes from the outside as instructions and directions, and there is an outside in expectation from the trainers, from the coaches, from the bosses, from the parents, etc., etc. Now let's look at how BAT intervention is entirely different with tons of benefits for you. Basically, BAT interventions focuses on changing thinking and seeks to reinforce thinking through experiential learning and reflection. Wow! Driven by TAW psychometric tools to bring in objective measures of traits, motives, and competency to tailor learnings to that individual. Works on individual strengths, not on weaknesses, like the routine soft skill training. Emphasizes unlearning, glue-like mindsets, die-hard habits, and concrete wall-like attitudes as a process of learning. And very, very clearly, yet another major distinguishing factor, BAT interventions is a process-driven approach. Makes individuals take ownership for their change. So that means you can expect inside-out transformation. That's why BAT intervention is the way to go. Much, much better and far superior to the routine run-of-the-mill soft skill training. BAT-driven inside-out training is right in. Subscribe to the YouTube channel Oscar Murphy Life Strategist for more insights. As company expectations change in an age of empowerment, people must develop new abilities and improve upon present competency levels. Organizations that want measurable results on both individual and corporate levels have found ample rewards with the inside-out process. What does BAT intervention do? It helps delving deeper into the human mystery. It gives you the right foundation, wiring, and the cross-connection in upbringing influences. It helps you deal with situational dynamics and the interplay. It empowers you in bridging the performance gap. BAT interventions have a high impact assessing, evaluating, and in strategizing. And with BAT interventions, you are gaining again and again while sharing the benefits to benefit others and people around you. BAT interventions makes full use of learning, unlearning, and the relearning process. You agree, attitudes are the distance between success and failures. It is absolutely essential that we learn to bridge the gap between success and failure by unlearning our glue-like mindsets, die-hard habits, and the concrete wall-like attitudes. This is possible only through inside-out training effectively, making use of the twin dimensions of learning and unlearning. After all, to win is within. BAT interventions also improve people effectiveness, and that's the whole intention. If you're talking about growth, you're talking about training, you need the skill, you need the potential. BAT interventions improve people's effectiveness process by starting with assessments. This helps people to identify their specific developmental needs, dramatically increasing buy-in and commitment to change. Every module ends with a concrete action plan that they share with the seniors, spelling out how performance will improve in the following months. You can surely expect results with the inside-out approach as against the outside-in. BAT interventions or people performance competency actually does the trick. You look at training, there are two approaches: filling gaps approach, and then you have the developing approach. In filling the gaps approach, you focus on gaps and there is a reproductive thinking. Whereas in developing approach, there is a focus on development and there is a productive thinking. The BAT process-based training interventions coupled with coaching provide a viable system for translating new learning into performance and excellence in the workplace. It consists of different modules that help people improve in key performance competencies. The behavior-based core competency development process establishes a participative climate and improved teamwork. The system provides a solid basis for mentoring and coaching relationships and encourages people to work at their full potential. That means you're getting the best out of every one of your team members and the huge reservoir of potential. The ACT of that process, ACT stands for Attitude Change Training, is the key to success. We start with needs assessment, curriculum design, training and implementation, and process evaluation, but with a whole lot difference, because it also helps people to respond to the need for increased ownership and productivity, and amply demonstrate the power of ACT, Attitude Change Training, to yield bottom line results and revitalize the organization with a new commitment to excellence. And that's precisely the objective of BAT interventions. The stimulus response feedback on behaviors gets people to modify and change behaviors from workshop to workplace, from awareness to action, and from information to implementation. Fantastic, absolutely marvelous results one can expect. Each intervention examines typical workplace interactions, with analysis and critique of everyday behavior. Practical exercises enable people to identify the basic skills and techniques associated with each competency. They then practice and apply the new skills via role-playing, case methods, script analysis, games, simulations, self-inventories, and other hands-on learning. It's going to be highly interactive and a lot of fun, while some serious work is actually happening within one's mind. Behavioral training in BAT is truly one's life's passion. So if you're a trainer, if you're a coach, if you want to do something because you believe in it, you're not doing training because you get paid for it. You do training because you believe in transforming yourself and people whom you meet in your training programs or in your coaching sessions. BAT is in helping every individual to develop his confidence and discover innate potential, talents, and abilities. BAT interventions seek to challenge the individual to discard the destructive nature of a defeatist attitude and to adopt the life-changing, energy-giving properties of a positive mindset. BAT interventions aim to unleash them for greater heights and empower them to reach their full potential through the process of self-discovery. In individuals blossoming into highly motivated self-starters is your job satisfaction. Participants are trained to focus on their goals and yet be flexible enough to adapt to changes. BAT participants are overcomers, resilient in times of adversity, equipped with the creative energy to turn failures into opportunities. Believe me, BAT participants have a sense of well-being and an improved quality of life, positively contributing to the family, to the workplace, and certainly to the society. Now comes the CARE, C-A-R-E, wonderful acronym, changing attitudes and reach effectiveness with the BAT. No skill is more important to one's success in life than one's ability to understand the mind and thoughts of others and to get facts, feelings, ideas, and actions from one to the other and vice versa with the minimum of transmission loss. It's time to put together many interactive process-based workshops using behavior analysis and psychometric assessments to address the need for a comprehensive understanding of the minds, behaviors, and attitudes of people with whom we interact and deal. Subscribe to the YouTube channel Oscar Murphy Life Strategist for more insights. And it's time to cash in people's talent with BAT interventions. Today, in this highly competitive world, successful organizations place an increasing emphasis on the assessment of people's performance in terms of KASH. KASH standing for knowledge, attitude, skills, and habits. Only by measuring where we are today can we track performance in our attempts to be better tomorrow. Effective performance process interventions are the knowledge and skills component and add value to developing people in organizations with a focus on attitudinal change and behavior modification like no other. So it's time to unlock the secret, BAT, behavior, attitudes, and thinking. So you gain behavioral insights, you can meet the brains behind the pioneers of the assessments, attitudes amplifiers, gains from genetic connection, understanding how genetic and heredity factors influence one's behavior, attitude, and thinking, thought habits, benefiting from the breakthrough science, bringing the concept of BAT in detail, programmed minds, impact of environmental conditioning, so you can understand motivational drives, emotional responses, and behavioral patterns of individuals and leveraging on them to meet the needs of different situations. Secrets to unlearn, learn, and not just relearn, but earn as well. Breaking the concrete wall like attitude and challenging glue-like mindsets. And levels of application of individuals, teams, departments, be it regional or organization. And interesting thing, you can get your certification in behavior, attitude, and thinking interventions. Shoot an email to learning@oscarmurphy.com for more details on how you could benefit, your organization could benefit, or how you can either just go through the intervention or you can even get certified so that you enjoy the benefits throughout.